Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smiths in the Black here at CP Group, and starting off a new week. So anytime we come into a Monday, there's a few things we want to look at. We want to see where the opening rotation goes. Right? Which sectors are they buying? Which sectors are they selling? And then who's in trouble? So what we did know, if you go to SPY here, almost everything on Friday did this. Two down on Thursday, two up into the highs. Right? Almost everything did that. So a couple things we want to look for is anybody who can take out Friday's lows because they got what they wanted. Got a big rally here, but if you take that out, you got problems, right? But as right now, SPY goes into the highs, so it is what it is, and just kind of stalls out. You can see 2 hours of just sitting here. So we're seeing some rotation, and I'll get to that in a second. If you go to QQQ, and to start off the week, inside 60, right? Qs have not picked a direction. You can see this on the daily, just kind of sitting there doing nothing, right, for right now. So how do we get outside of this in the next hour? I want to know about the Qs, either above 361.94 or below 361.35, right? Because what we had over there was had SMH do this. SMH went inside on the 60 here, and then boom, right up to the highs. We had some news in there. I'll get to those in just a second. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, the Dow Jones Diamonds just up sit. Had a nice outside 60, then two up, two down. How do you get outside of this thing? But the Diamonds are coming up on this level that we've been watching on the monthly, the 348.65, right? So we're above that now. So trying to go back into the highs on a two style monthly, and we'll get to a couple of those in just a second too. If we go to the small cappers, and you'll see small caps inside day doing nothing. It's just doing nothing. They did go inside on the 60, and now potential rev strat here, but in general, we're gonna have a tough time taking this week out, right? And that's one of the things you look at on the weekly charts over the weekend. Are you anywhere near taking out last week's highs or lows? And so we know about that. Right now, these are not, right? So that's not something we want to look at. So what we did have is some news in AVGO, which got the semis going here, and you can see that pop here. And so, you just go down the line. NVIDIA still inside day to the upside, still going, waiting on that split, but you can see that strength in there. And like, just go around the horn here, MU a little bit. How about Qualcomm? And you saw SWKS do this, go with the AVGO and the semis. The outside bar is what something we look for. The outside bar, by taking out both sides of the previous range, then going inside, real move. Because what this tells me on an outside bar, they were willing to pay up above the previous high. They're willing to sell down below the previous low. Then they meet in the middle for an inside bar. Boom, 312 real move. We call that Chi-Town Chicago. So what we are seeing is, to start off the week, coming into financials. XLF coming up here, and we knew we're taking out these highs here. Last week's highs, two down, two up. XLF, FAS here doing the same a little bit. So we've got Goldman Sachs on the week. We call this the Randy Jackson for my friend Randy, who likes the failed rev strat. So you had the inside bar, poke up, poke down, boom. So this was a rev strat down, but it didn't complete into here and goes right back up. And so that tells me, keep an eye on like Morgan Stanley here, inside weak to the upside. Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. We just looked at here, JP Morgan going up, Citicorp. So they're all coming in financial. Citicorp, not as much just yet. We want to watch these weeklies on who can take out last week's highs, right? All right, SPY's still just sitting here, right? All right, so the broader average is sitting here. Well, we know that the diamonds were coming up. Oh, so we got Capital One coming up here, also taking out last week's highs. That's something I'd want to know about with DFS here. American Express. So going down the horn here, still hasn't taken that week out. Takes out Friday's highs, though, and that's something we'd want to know about. Market just kind of flattening out here. So if we go back to the Dow Jones, we got Disney doing this. Disney, inside week, pokes down, rev strat week. 1, 2, 2. And if that works, it causes the 1 bar rev strat 1, 3 on the month, which it did. Now we want to stay above last month's highs here. 181.01. All right, so you're there right now. You just want to stay there. This is a weekly, and so what we want to know is how long is a signal in force. This is good all week. So long as it's above this here, 177.51, right? It's good all week. You can look for more signals, and then you want to just stay above that month. Because once you're an outside bar, they sold down. Now they're paying up. They might do it again, so you want to make sure they stay above that. If we go to FedEx and the trannies, take a look at the trannies. Trannies still handling inside day, so be aware of that, and nowhere near taking out last week's or last month's highs or lows. Inside on the 60, but if you go to FedEx leading the charge here. Once again, inside weak by not taking out the highs or lows. Poke down, boom, rev strat weaker. Now still handily inside month, but I want to know about FedEx and look for signals here for the rest of the week above 299.63. If we go to NDAQ, NASDAQ, and NASDAQ just, anytime you can have something like this, that gets my attention. Now, maybe they come back, maybe they don't, but there was some aggressive buying right out the chute on the opening. Now an inside 60 and starting to fade a bit. It did its job by going to the high, so you're going to see this. The lower low to stop all these guys. Everybody in here got stopped out here, right, last Thursday. Then, boom, the reversal back through the previous range. Stop out anybody short. Now it's a matter of whether the buyers step up because it did its job by going to the highs. That's your magnitude, because these three are an outside bar of all this. So we'll see. Now you got an inside 60 to see if they step up in that. If we go to AVB in the REITs, and AVB, we've been watching this one for a while too, ever since starts climbing up all of this here, because we saw VNQ here to go take out these highs. We're still looking to take out the highs at 229.40, right? Because we knew VNQ looked very similar to that and went all the way up and took it out right here. So you can also look at SPG. All these things still fighting back. SPG right now just takes out last Friday's highs, also inside week, followed by the poke down. Rev strat week, all week above 129.78 is what we want to know about from the weekend vid. If we go to Starbucks, and Starbucks inside month to the upside. That means we can look for signals all month. And so what you look for in here, right now you got your inside 60s just kind of stalling out like a lot of things. But like here, the corrective activity. The 2 up by taking out the previous day's high. The 2 down by taking out the previous day's lows. And then Friday, boom, I'm in right here. Let her keep rocking with that inside month. That's how you get in on stuff like that. If we go to Teslers, and Tesla coming up on last week's highs. Right, remember, it was inside month, so we're going to be aware of this. If we can re-break 697.62, you got a little bit more room on that, but the launch pad would be here off the weekly. Takes out the previous high, takes out previous low, boom. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up for this week over this high. 684, and you're there by a few cents right now, so that's where you want to be looking for buy signals above that. If we go to INMD, and INMD just having a nice day, just exhaustion risk by going into the highs and stalling out a little bit. But when I get to the show, what I'm looking for is things that have nice long red and green bars, or to start off the week have those signals that I've been talking about, right? To make sure that that's what we can look for the rest of the week. So nice green day to start off INMD. We'll see if anything more comes of that. If we go to ALNY, ALNY looking to do its job here. Take out that monthly high, 178.41, and it does it by going to 53 and then stalling out. But we've been watching this for a while, so I like to go back to things just to remind you. We talked about this when it was happening and to what to look for. Inside month, poke down, rev strat month, boom. What's our magnitude? Here to take out the all-time high, right? So all this stuff, these guys becoming out, these things here become an outside bar of all that, because outside bars exist. Now just stalling out a little bit as it should when you go into exhaustion risk. Moderna, once again on the weekly, takes out the previous high 2 up, takes out the previous low 2 down. Boom, now we're looking for these to become an outside bar of this. So 245.70 is what we're looking for on this week. And so long as it's over 234.60. If we go to SGH, and SGH, inside month to the upside here, right? And it does its job. It hits magnitude by going into the highs, right? And then it pulls back. Here's your inside day. 2 down on Friday, and now RevStrat. 1, 2 down, 2 up. So there's some good magnitude on here if they want to bring this thing back up. If we go to some shenaniganers, seed here, now pulling back, but you can see had a nice move up into here, so we can look for more signals on that going forward. Anything moving around is something we want to know. And SGOC, SGOC, you see stalling out here, so we'll see what comes of that. On the downside, we're seeing space, meme puker, and space. Look at this, ow, right? Taking out last week's lows. Now red on the month, albeit still inside. But anything taking out Friday's lows is something you want to know about on the short side, because anybody who was long got what they wanted. The market rallied on Friday. On almost everything was a 2 up. But you go 2 down today, you trapped everybody from Friday. So space here, 52.76. Inside day to the downside. Boom, down she goes. If you go to the 60, you're going to see this here. The outside bar, inside bar, real move, downside, boom. Where's it going to go? It's going to take this out to the downside. If we go to Costco, and Costco did the same thing. Outside bar by taking out both sides of the previous range. Inside bar, boom, real move. They're willing to pay up. They're willing to sell down. They met in a consolidation of an inside bar. Boom, real move to the downside. Now you got a new 60. Always watching the new 60. Market's still stalling out and going sideways here. Qs haven't done anything here to start off the week. Look at this. Triple inside on the 60 for right now on the Qs. If we go to XLP. XLP is as far as a sector, trying to take out those lows. Now rallying back on the 60. Not really falling apart, but just always want to take note of things that are taking out Friday's lows. If we go to Charter, boom, down. Taking out last week's lows, coming down, right? Once again, inside bar to the downside. We'll see if that continues, but so long as it's below this week, that's something I'd want to know about, and especially if it's red on the month, which it now is, right? That's full time frame continuity to the downside. If we go to MSTR, and MSTR here, you can see this. As soon as it took out Friday's lows, boom, destruction, right? And that was below 615.20. Trading 587.42. Nice move. Boom. So that's why, like when you hear me talk in the morning, oftentimes I'll say, no hurry here because we're trying to see what they do on a Monday, then if they follow through on a Tuesday. But because of the massive amount of higher highs on stocks on Friday, this morning is anybody taking out Friday's lows is somebody I want to know about. These guys are trapped. And you can see you can get a real nice juicy move out of that. And if that works, it triggers the inside week to the downside, which is good all week, below 594.69. So if you're good and fast, you hit it before, as soon as it goes 2 down on the day, and then hit it again as soon as it goes inside week to the downside. That's your add, and you can just stop it even. If you go to F5, and F5, once again, once you know that this is potentially an outside day here, potentially an outside week here, so it does go outside, but taking both sides of the previous range out. So once it goes red, you can go after that. You'll also notice on the 60, it did this. 2 up by taking out the previous high, boom. 2-2 reversal right here, boom. And if that works, it's going to take this out at least. It takes all these guys out in one shot. F5 having some issues. If we go to VMW, and VMW, here's what we're looking for here, right? The inside week break, right? Below 155.59, you're there right now, and that's going to be caused by this. the outside day by taking out both sides of the previous range. There's your broadening formation. The 2 up, and then boom, as soon as it takes this out, here below 157.46, we're going to take that out. These two become an outside bar of this outside bar. And if that works, it takes out the lows of the inside week. Then you can go down to an inside 60 for the continuation right here. Down, inside, boom, give me measured move. And if that works, we might be able to take a 2-month inside pattern here. These 2 months are inside that. So it gets worse here below this, 153.34. So it looks like I'm running out of time again. So on a Monday, we always want to see where the rotation is sector-wise. And then on a Tuesday, we want to see if we get that follow-through. If not, so that's what we're going to do. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith of the Block, here at CP Group with the Strat Time Report.